Hello and good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We have this special topic regarding facilitating people with special needs. And oftentimes, we try to cover this topic of special needs in many aspects because oftentimes they call these people like people with disabilities, but it's not always a disability. I mean, we could say many of this in this reality makes them disable to do things, but there are many possibilities here. And it's not just about those people who sort of like have special needs, but it's also about those people who are living around them, like the family members who are looking after these people with special needs. So maybe the first question is, if you are such person that there is someone in your family, or maybe it's your job to look after people with special needs. So what have you decided about you? Like, who are you? And are you clear on that you personally, who is around such people with special needs, what is your definition of yourself? Or what is your daily definition that makes you keep doing what you have to do? Or as well, what is it that makes you sad? Or what is it that makes you upset or anxious or stressed when you are around these people? Okay. And one of the thing is that maybe you've heard this many times, but one of the thing is that if you are like in an environment very often, or if you keep, let's say, keep thinking of a person a lot on a daily basis, what happens that their feelings, thoughts, emotions, or fears, or emotional states, or mental states can start to sort of like mimicked by you, or you start to deeply sense or feel it. So everywhere so are you willing to pick up everything, let's say, identify and recognize everything that you picked up from such people? So anything that doesn't allow you to have clarity about what is yours and what is not, will you destroy and uncreate, eliminate and eradicate? It's rather about that, there is nothing wrong that you are aware of what's happening with such people. It's rather about oftentimes we are not aware of that. We just start to have that state in our reality, in our body, or having that mental state. So anywhere where you sort of like mimicking or picking up other people's physical, emotional, or mental state that you keep looking after, will you now return it back to the sender and even to the source? And how much of this is actually your point of view? That this person has to feel like this. So, and how much of this is not even your point of view, but many people's point of view around you? Okay, just a moment. So, how much of these feelings, thoughts, emotions, and mental state that you picked up from other people, from those people that are in need, like with special needs? So, are you willing to have clarity about it? Are you choosing to have clarity about it that it belongs to them? And how many times it doesn't even belong to them, but it belongs to other people who also live around these people? Like how many times it is projections of others that they put on the person with disability or the person with special needs? All right. And there are those people like, okay, and what is our definition? What is our approach or what is your approach to those people who, let's say, they are unconscious, let's say they are in coma, what is your approach to those people who, let's say, they are getting sort of like insane, so they have very serious mental illnesses. So oftentimes they are not themselves or they don't know where they are. They are just getting, let's say, Alzheimer or getting very old and their brain is not working that way that it should. And what about those people who are mentally sane, but they don't care about themselves. They don't care about their health. They don't follow the diet. They don't want to change their lifestyle. And this is what's causing a problem for them. So there, let's say there are many groups of people who can have any kind of disabilities and just make yourself sort of like clear about how would you look into the different groups of these people. How do you look at that person that you know that is your family member or you actively look after? And how would you look if this person would have a different state? Or many times we say like, oh, my family member, my father, my mother, whoever else could change her or his diet or lifestyle, but not doing that. They are not doing that at all because they don't care. And how much you want to change them. And what have you decided what will be better for them? This is one thing. The other thing is that what is it like? Are you willing to have clarity about what do they truly choose? So how much are they aware of their choices? Like, do they have clarity about their own choices? Like, do they have clarity about that if this is not if they are not going to change their behavior, then things get worse? Actually, is it true that they are choosing to get worse? Like they wanna get out of life or the body? So are you willing to see clearly with such topics? Okay. And would you keep looking after these people, or how would you look at them if you would recognize that they are not choosing to stay alive? How would you look at them if you would recognize that they are choosing to suffer because they think they did something wrong and they have to suffer? Like it's their own decision. And even they sort of like, let's say that's a deep emotional decision to suffer for something that they have done or they haven't done. Let's say they missed doing something, therefore they want to suffer for that physically or emotionally for the rest of their life. Okay. So it's sort of like a really useful question for you. First of all, how would you act or how would you react if you would become aware of the person is choosing to pass away, like they had enough of life? Okay. So what is your awareness? This is for those who have such person. Like ask yourself the question or connect to their being or connect to their body. Like truth, do you choose to die? Or do you choose to die slowly within many, many, many years or even decades? Or do you choose to suffer? Hmm, what is that? Is it a no, nothing. Okay. So what is it that you as a, let's say, as a caretaker, as a family member, that you are unwilling to recognize, that if you were willing to recognize, if you recognized it, then how much it would change of how you look at them, how much it would change your energy in this whole situation. And what is the point when you say, okay, I'm willing to be a contribution to whatever they choose? Of course, what is the point when you get to that point that like this person is not fully conscious or aware of that they could choose something else? Therefore, I have to help them, I have to work with them. So maybe one day they would recognize that they could choose something else, and then they would heal or recover. So how much of you is functioning from this? That you keep helping, keep looking after people with disabilities because you strongly believe, or this is your point of view, that they are not clear on what they are choosing, and or they are not aware that they could choose something else. And once they could be aware of that, pretty sure they would choose something else. So if this is what you believe, then again, connect with them. Like, is that true? That they don't know that they could choose something else? Or are they interested to choose something else? Or how much deeply they are invested in the outcome? How much deeply or strongly they are invested in, they have to suffer, they have to go through so many surgeries or medication or whatever else. So anything it brings up for you, everywhere you have a hard time to recognize it or to even just ask it because it's a family member and you are emotionally, connected to the person. But just expand out in all directions of the universe. And as you keep expanding out, include these people in your space, include their body, include their being, include their belief systems, their reality, their points of view, their energetic reality. We also could say this is the karma, like anything and everything that they believe in. So include all of that in your space. So keep expanding out until you fully and totally include everything that they are, that they function from. So it's like receiving them in a non-judgmental state, receiving them truly who they are. And how does it make you feel? Okay. If you connect with their bodies, and maybe they have uh, a bodily state that makes them sort of like someone with special needs. Okay, so did you ask questions from their body? Like, is this something that their body maintains, that situation, that physical state? Is that something that their body maintains by itself? So maybe they have a problem with their movement, with their hip, with their knees, or they have problems with their internal organs, whatever, any illness or symptom. Is that something that the body is forcing them to do it? It's a yes or no. And if yes, could the body change this? Or is there any program that the owner, like the being, put on the body, consciously or unconsciously, that makes the body keep choosing that kind of symptom or illness. So the whole program, does it belong to the body or does it belong to the being in the body? Or is there a previous occupant, like an original occupant, and the illness belongs to them? And everything that it brings up for you, will you destroy, uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and poke, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyond. So everywhere you decided that the person has the chance to change and they have to change, and it's insane that they are not changing, will you now destroy, uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate all of this? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and poke, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyond. And everywhere you think that they don't have a chance to change or their body doesn't have a chance to change, so nothing to do with this, and you can't do anything with this, there is no way out from such symptom or illness or state for the body. And everything you made vital, valuable, real, and significant about this, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and poke, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyond. Okay. So can you ask their body to change the state that they are functioning from? And did you ask their body? Also, did you connect to their being, the being that functions from the space of infinite possibilities? That, hey, like, do you have, like, can you choose something else? Is this something that you keep choosing, or is this something that was put on you by someone else, or some kind of spiritual judges, or by some witches, or someone who hated you? Is this something that was put on you, or is this something that you put on yourself? What is their awareness as infinite beings from that space, from that level of consciousness? And can you choose that? Choose to change that? If you ask their being, like, can you choose, like, and are you willing to choose to change it? And anything that doesn't allow you to change it, and everywhere it makes you invested into the situation, will destroy and uncreate, eliminate and eradicate all of that. Right and wrong, good and bad, quote unquote, all 100 shorts, boys, forwards, bases, creations, and beyond. Hopefully, Margarita can see that there is something with her voice or audio quality that needs to change or improve. So anyway, I can hear you clearly, but Zoko says there is something wrong with your voice. I don't know. I hear it clearly. For me, it's perfect. Maybe it's in Zoko's system. All right, let's continue. It's also possible, yes. Okay, let's continue. So, and you as a family member or someone who is a caretaker, or looking after such people, whether they are kids, they are brothers or sisters, or your parents, or any other family members. Like how much you made it as your duty to heal them, how much you made it as your job to keep looking after them, how much you want to save them. Like what have you made vital, valuable, real that even if they choose to die, you will save them. Even if they choose to stay unhealthy, you save them. Even if they want to hurt themselves or suffer, you will save them. And everything that it brings up, and all the promises, oaths, vows, fealties, communities, secret promises, and blood oaths you ever made to save them, to protect them, or heal them, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate? Like how many lifetimes they have been your child? And you as a mother, you promise that you will always look after them, their body, their situation. But in this lifetime, maybe they are not your children. So everything that it brings up for you and all the promises, oaths, vows, fealties, communities, secret promises, and blood oaths you ever made, that you will always keep looking after them, no matter what, will you now revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and create. Right and wrong, good and bad, put and poke, all 100 shorts, boys, poets, bases, creations, and beyond. Like, part of it is about, first, are you willing to recognize what they are choosing? Let's say if they choose to die and you had a promise or a contract to always look after them, always heal them, always try to help them to or save them, then it's not going to work because you are unwilling to recognize that they are choosing to die. And that's free will. And what have you decided? Even if this is their free will, you have to save them. Also, what have you decided that if the doctors told that this is the situation, then you have to listen to the doctors because the situation is what it is and it's unchangeable as per the doctor's point of view. And what if you ask the body, you ask the being if the situation is changeable? If they choose to change and if they were choose to change, could they change it? And how long it will take to change the situation, the symptoms. So everything it brings up for you, that you have to save them, that you have to save them even against their free will, because you know it better. Will you now destroy, non-create, eliminate, and eradicate for eternity? And are you willing to receive what is their choice? And actually, if this is your duty or your job, because you are a professional caretaker, so how many points of view you have that if they are unwilling to look after them or change their own situation as much they could change, then it sort of like then you take their burden on yourself, on your shoulder. Like their burden, like their emotional burden, their mental burden, all different ways, the stress, the heaviness, their problems, their pain, you take it on yourself. So everybody decided to take it on yourself. So at least help them out. And everybody function from the need of you have to save them and lessen their pain and their problems. Will you now destroy and uncreate, eliminate and eradicate and revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce all the promises, oaths, vows, fealties, communities, secret promises and blood oaths that you made to keep looking after them and save them even against their choice, their free will. Okay. Mhm. And okay. You can also ask the question like, is there any information that this person is missing? Is there any information that if they could receive, if they had that information, then it would change their state. It would change their approach. Maybe it would change what they choose. So you can ask this from them, but like as by connecting with them, that truth, is there any information that they are missing? If they could get it, it would change everything for them. If yes, what is this information? What is the information that they are missing? Like, are you allowed to know that information? Or what contribution you can be to let them have the information? Or even you can say, okay, I don't know what is the information, but let's download that information. And who is the person that could sort of like speak to them and tell them such information? Like even if you don't know, who is the one who maybe like many options. One is that who is the one who has this information so they could tell them and ask like energetically such people to come into this space into their life, into the life of the person with special needs, and ask them to be a contribution and gift that information to the person with special needs. Okay. And maybe you know what is the information. Okay. But maybe they are not willing to receive from you. Like you can keep telling such things day after day, but that family member or person with special needs is not willing to receive it from you. So they will not hear. And physically, maybe they hear, but energetically, they won't hear. And who is the person that they could receive such information with great ease? Is that another family member or it's another caretaker or who is that? And ask for such people to show up in their life. Who is this person? Ask for all of them to show up and ask them to tell that information to the person in need. Okay. So one thing is, who are you as a caretaker, or who are you as a person who's looking after them, like such people with special needs? And do you have any, like, is there any promises, oaths, vows, fealties, communities, secret promises, or blood oaths that connects this person to you? Like, why did they come into your life? Is with such illnesses? So what is the truth here that you didn't hear so far? Or what is the related information that would change everything with ease? For you, for them, the whole situation would change with ease if that information would come to the surface. So everything that brings up for you and for them, will you now destroy, uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate for all eternity? Actually, what is about these disabilities that they have? It's not just what is your point of view, what is this environments, like the people's points of view, and what is the client or the family member's point of view, but also what is it that you are not willing to recognize about their, um, let's say, disability. But how much of that disability is sort of like covering a capacity or a skill or a knowing? So what is it that you cannot see? And if you could see, that would change the whole situation. Or what is it that they cannot see about their symptoms and states of their body? But if they were willing to see it fully, then it would change everything for them. And right and wrong, good and bad, put and poke, all 100 shorts, boys, forwards, bases, creations, and beyonds. Okay, so here is a question: how to motivate your loved ones to start taking care of themselves, like making exercises or have more rest or relaxation or changing their diet. Okay, so this is what you need to look into. Like, do they have any promise or any oaths, vows? Yeah, the question. Okay. Yeah. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, okay. Yeah, all right. I repeat. So how to motivate your loved ones to start taking care of themselves, like changing their diet, start to make some exercises or rest more, have more relaxation or no stress. Okay. So yeah, first I would ask them the question like, what do they choose? Like energetically ask questions from themselves so you can have the awareness. So what is it? Um, like, do they have any promises, oaths, vows, fealties, communities, secret promises, or blood oaths that keeps them choosing the same habit or keeps them not willing to change their life, not not maintaining the diet, not having more rest, and so on. Or sometimes they don't take their medication. But we know sometimes it's a contribution, sometimes it's not. I mean, you need to look into it. What would create greater, or is there another kind of medication that would create greater? So, what is your awareness about the people with special needs? That do they have any promise that keeps them in that same state? And and the other thing, we partially covered this, like you cannot motivate them if they are unwilling to receive from you, you know. So it's someone else that maybe they could listen to. And so you can ask for that person to show up in their life, or you can, start ask questions like who is that person in the family or around the family or any friends of them that they are willing to listen to. If they would tell the information, if they would give them motivation, then it would work 100%. So, and then you can ask that person to, like, energetically to come and be that contribution to motivate these people. And everything that doesn't allow you to energetically communicate with anyone or even with the family members, will you now destroy and uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate for eternity? Right and wrong, good and bad, put and put all 100 shorts, boys, poets, basis creations, and beyond. Yeah, I'm just checking because we have a couple of questions. Yeah, there is a question. How to sort of like protect yourself against the pressure of sick relatives in the family. So, okay. Okay. Sort of like, like you don't want to take their illness on you. So what have you decided? Like, are you willing to receive them and recognize what is their choice? And are you willing to have total allowance, like no points of view about their choice? Hmm. And how much they are there to make you suffer? There is nothing right or wrong, just have awareness. How much it would change the whole situation if you were willing to have clarity about everything. And if they are there to make you suffer, you can also ask the question, like, are you willing to give up your standing point to make me suffer with your state? Or everywhere like they decided that they have to suffer, are they willing to give it up? Or what would it take for them to give it up? And who are those people that they could receive from? And ask for those people to show up, to come into their life. And anything that doesn't allow you and them to have ease, joy, and glory will destroy and uncreate, eliminate, and eradicate for all eternity. Okay. Okay. So how to maintain your energy level when you look after a family member who is sick or ill? Like how to maintain your energy level and how to make sure that you stay healthy. Okay, couple of things. Mm, like, of course, it's a question if you are living together with them or not, like you are just visiting them. But okay, how much you are savior? Like how much you have decided about yourself that you are a savior, energetically, consciously, unconsciously, that you have to save them. Because if you have to save them, and they, of course, they are not choosing, then you start to pick up everything that's happening to them. So what would it take for you to give up the standing point of being a savior? And of course, you can say that you have to look after this family member because they are your parents or they are your children. But it's not about like what I'm saying, it's not about that you have to stop look after these people. It's about you have to get out from that state that you have to save them. Because from that point, from that moment, you become like someone with lots of glue around you and you start to glue all their shit into your space. If you don't have to save them, whatever they choose is their choice, and you are just there serving them. You are just there contributing to whatever they choose. It doesn't really matter what they choose for you in this case. You keep looking after them, and none of their problems will get and stick to you. So anywhere you you are a savior, or you define yourself as a savior. All the different lifetimes you saved them and now you have to save them again, or all the different lifetimes they saved you and now it's your turn to save them. Will you now revoke, recount, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate all the related promises, oaths, vows, fealties, communities, secret promises, and blood oaths that you made or they made with you? Mhm. Any special recommendation for teachers? Okay, for example, if you are a teacher, how to protect yourself from the kids, maybe. Um, okay. Mhm. Like generally, it's a really cool step if you expand out. Like every beginning of the day means if you have to start to work at school, let's say at 8 a.m., then from the moment you wake up, expand out and receive all the kids and their family from the class or classes that you go to teach. Like you can choose, okay, all the kids, all their families, all their situation. Now I'm willing to receive and have no points of view, like I have total allowance with them. So again, this is a few steps that makes you not picking up their problems and their points of view. Okay, another question. How to respect yourself and not cross your boundaries when interacting with people with special needs? It's sort of like, again, the same that are you willing to give them allowance? Like, let them choose what they choose. And also, um, to not give up your boundaries, you have to give up being and acting as a savior. And other question was, it was a half question, when you need to maintain self-care. Ooh, I have to have clarity about what is this. Ah, it was belonging to the previous question. Okay. Huh. So again, mhm. if you Okay, if you are asking the question like, what would be a contribution to this situation? What would be a contribution to these people, the people or the person that you keep looking after? Like, what do I have to do as part of my daycare or part of my duties of looking after this person? Like, what if you would only do what is a contribution and not do anything that is not a contribution, but you think you have to do it? It's not about it's not a contribution because it makes me tired, but whatever it is, but what is a contribution for them and their body in whichever way, in generally, a contribution. So I'm choosing to do and make everything that's a contribution for them and nothing else. And what actually, how much it could change the whole situation if you are willing to do only those things, those activities that is a contribution for them. And, I said only, and maybe this wouldn't be only, it would be maybe even far more than what you would do normally. But anyway, everything you decided that you have to do, though actually it's not a contribution, and everything you decided you have to do because you think that will help them and that will save them, but actually they don't want to be saved. So the more you gift to them, the more you try to help them, the more they try to die or get into a worse situation. So actually, what would it be like if you were willing to gift them only that is a contribution that they are willing to receive and nothing else? How much it would change the situation? How much they could feel that they are honored, that their choice is honored. And are you willing to see if they are lying to you, if they are just using or abusing you, like playing with your time, with your energy? Are you willing to see that as well, if that's happening? Yeah. So thank you so much for today, for everyone. If you have other questions, then maybe we would continue this topic, this free entry or free Zoom at another time. And this was it for today. And yeah, other thing is, are you willing to say yes to consciousness? Even if no one else would say yes to consciousness, to be aware of everything that's around you, are you willing to say yes? And are you willing to practice consciousness in your daily life? Practice consciousness in your relationships, in your health, with your body, with your business. And thank you so much for joining us and hope to have more fun. And as you all registered, I will send you the recordings and also the translated audio so you can re-listen as many times you can. I just want to ask you, please download it so you can have it for yourself. So thank you so much for all of you. And thank you for your great questions and what magic can show up and what change can show up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. See you. Bye-bye.
Ahoj, Zuzi, děkuji za překlad.
Ahoy. Thank you. Bye-bye.